Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. The only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You're listening to the Perky Radio Show, and I'm your host, David M. Frankel. I am very blessed to have three exceptional guests today. Hopefully you can see our smallest guest. This is his first official interview. The little man, since he's the most important one here, is Levi Young. He's 6 weeks old. This is his first radio show. And his proud mama is Yasmine Young. She works for CMS in the partnership as a partnership coordinator, as well as her husband, LeWayne Young. And he is now a business partner for Life, Legacy, Insurance, and Financial Education. Did I get that all right?
Yes.
That's a mouthful. Normally I have one guest and one introduction, so I had to do three introductions at once. So I'm glad it all came out well. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And also, Happy New Year to all of you, since this will air on January 4th. We hope you had a wonderful New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and hopefully we can give you some great information that inspires you for the year 2018. So first off, we'll go left to right, I guess. We'll start with Miss Yasmine. CMS, being a new mom. We'll start with the new mom because that's obviously more exciting than CMS. Welcome to motherhood again.
Yes.
Tell us about the little guy and what inspired you to have a little one to bring in the world, I guess. It's kind of a complex question. But
it is complex.
Because we're never ready, right? Moms out there or ladies out there, you're never ready to have another child. But
right. But you figure it out.
You figure it out.
Yes. So this is Levi James Young, and like you said, he's 6 weeks old. He's born November 6th, and he is our fourth child. And Levi was very easy going since pretty much day one.
That's good.
So we had a very easy labor. We had a very smooth transition back into motherhood. We have a 7-year-old. We have a 15-year-old, and she'll be almost 19.
Okay.
So this is literally starting all over.
Sure. But a lot of helpers, though.
Yes.
And so being CEO of your household, what is it like to bring a new addition to the household? Like, how the roles change? How has life changed for you?
Gosh, I would say one of the biggest things that we've done in the last few weeks in our home is really set up some kind of boundaries and really giving our older two, because my daughter's in college, so she gets to miss out on all the fun action. But we do a lot by our calendar. So my husband and I have been doing that for about 2 years now, and we figured let's try that with the kids and see if it works.
Sure.
Right? Kids need structure.
Sure.
Sometimes it's not easy to implement it, but what I realized is a total shift in our home. Ever since I put up a calendar, I put up roles for everyone, and everyone's owning up to their roles. Not to mention Levi's an easy kid. Like, I don't want to jinx it, but
sure, of course.
He's a really easy baby. So
how do the kids respond? Because we have 6 children. Ours range from 4 to 21, so we're in a similar boat.
Similar, but not quite, because
6 is different than 4.
I'm not getting a 6.
I don't blame you. It's definitely a full house and very busy all the time.
It is. It's nonstop.
But obviously, you set up a calendar. It's different from what they're used to. How do they respond? Did some respond better than others? And what kind of responsibility do they have now that the baby's in the house?
I would say my oldest, my 15-year-old, he it was an adjustment. Just because he likes to kind of do things his way, right? They're busy, and he just finished driver's ed, so now he's getting ready to get out there on the road. So as far as the response, I would have to say it's been very positive. He has stepped up to the role, so to speak.
Okay.
So I'm not saying, hey, Zaylin, have you done laundry? Hey, Zaylin, have you done this? I can save my energy. And he goes to the calendar. He knows it's Saturday, and he knows that he's kind of handling the responsibilities. So it's tiring doing all the mom roles, right?
Sure.
So I just it's just been an easier transition. And I would say AJ, our 7-year-old, he likes it. So he'll show up. It's Tuesday, and it's vacuuming day. And he'll say, Mom, I'm going to do Zaylin's job, too, for tomorrow, so he doesn't have to do it.
Wow, that's great.
So it's been this new, like I said, like a new shift in our home.
Excellent. So I'm sure a lot of the people watching on YouTube and listening on WDRB Media or iHeartRadio or TuneIn app, they're also wondering, at what age you start paying your kids to do some of these chores? And are your kids doing it just out of the goodness of their heart, or is there a little financial incentive for them?
So I don't pay kids in my home to do the things that it takes to raise a family.
Okay.
I heard this in one of John Maxwell's books. I do a lot of audio books, hence heard it. And his father would pay him not to do chores, but to read books, to do things that are going to better position them in the future. So that's something that I'm looking to implement in our home for this upcoming year, is kind of giving them a financial contribution to do things that are really going to better them in the future. But doing laundry, making your bed, those are things that are going to make you better as a person. And those are kind of the expectations, I think, in our home. So unfortunately, viewers, we don't pay our children to handle that.
Oh, very good. So I guess I'm sure a lot of listeners and people watching say, that's great. I'm glad it works for you. But man, I cannot get my 15-year-old to do chores to save my life. So do you use positive reinforcement? Is there a negative reinforcement? What have you found with your kids has been very effective if they decide to slack off a little bit, or they say they don't want to do it, or they are just busy doing other things, and some things kind of go to the side? How do you respond as a mother to keep a very positive environment in our household, but at the same time you're frustrated because now the dishes need to be done, the trash is piling up.
Right.
Where's the positive, negative reinforcement, and what seems to work with your 15-year-old son? Because I think it's a tough age for most people.
It is.
I have a 15-year-old as well, and we have our moments. And he does dishes 3 days a week because with
Yes.
6 kids and 8 in the household,
Wow.
or 7 in the household. Technically, my daughter's in college as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of dishes on a daily basis, so they have to really be done every day.
Every
But
day.
every other day it works. But it all depends on his homework and his extracurricular activities and other things he wants to do as a 15-year-old. So I'm also listening for myself, not just as a
and
listener.
The viewers, yeah.
But how do you handle when they don't do it, or what's the consequence, or what's the reward when they do it consistently?
So I would say
Or your kids is better than my kids. What's
Man,
the deal?
our kids are awesome. Are you kidding me? No. I mean, do I have my breakdowns, babe? I have my breakdown moments, right?
Right.
I'm only human. I can only handle so much. But I would say as far as the incentive side, yes, even us as adults, we love incentives. It gives us an extra push. So we live close to a shopping area that he is able to literally ride his bike and just kind of go over there and shop. So I'll give him a couple, $5 or $10 on Friday. So he has to kind of work his way to get through the week.
Okay.
And so on Fridays, that's his time to relax and unwind. We don't touch homework. We kind of talk about the day, and he just goes.
Okay.
He goes and he hangs out, and he'll go to McDonald's and get fries, and then he'll go to Target and get a Coke and meet up with some friends. So he has the incentive to go out and enjoy some alone time with his friends.
So there's a slight financial reward for doing his chores. It's not, here's $5 for doing the dishes, but
No, I pay him.
here's for having a great week.
I pay him to leave the house.
You pay
Get
him to
out
leave
the house,
house,
kid. No.
Okay. Hey, whatever works.
So I guess, yes, in essence, there is a financial, hey, thank you, for a great week and just being so awesome.
Right. But you feel like it's more of, hey, thanks for doing your job around the house. Here's $5 or $10 to go hang out and do things you want to do.
Yes.
It's not really $5 for doing chores or not $5
That's
for
right.
doing a specific task.
That's right.
It's just for doing what you're told and helping out is the overall payment.
It is.
Not for a specific task.
Yes, that's
Excellent.
it.
That's very good. And then how about the 7-year-old? 7-year-old just does things for, it's a female or a male?
Adrian's a boy.
Okay, so
and he
15 and 7 are both boys.
Yes, they're both boys.
Okay.
Let's see. So I am filled to the home with testosterone.
Okay.
And we got a fish in April, and unfortunately, our fish is a male.
Okay.
So
I'm sure there's a lot of listeners and viewers that can relate. It's
Yes.
like what's it like to be the only female in your household full of men?
Yeah.
Toilet seat's always up.
Yes.
This is not a confession session, but we know how it is in the male household.
So let's see. Our 7-year-old, he's got such an amazing energy that, like I said, he goes to help over and beyond. Sometimes you have kids that kind of overhelp, and he's our overhelper.
Okay.
So there's not really a time where, hey, you haven't done this or you haven't done that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Enjoy
all
that.
the time, no, but
Right.
for the most part.
And what does he do for fun? Is he at 7? Is he playing outside? Is he playing sports? Is there other activities that take him away from the household?
Yeah, so he's like I say, he's very, very active.
Okay.
And he finished football and baseball.
Okay.
But now when we move over to this gentleman over here, I'll let him talk about his sewing project. But Adrian's very passionate about the homeless.
Okay.
And so he's come up with this whole idea, this whole project to start to create pillows. So he's working on sewing right now.
Wow. And you're going to be giving, not to jump into that subject, but you're giving them to the homeless? It's like a donation?
Yeah.
Because my wife and I, she pioneered it. I just kind of went along for the ride. She worked with a group called Wild Explorers, which is just a group of moms that have all kids that are basically preschool age and younger. And we went to a park, I think it was Freedom Park in Uptown, and brought several scarves and blankets and just hung them on the bushes, which tends to be a very popular place for people that are homeless that hang out. And we realize that they're all cold. And instead of just taking to a shelter,
Yeah.
we figured we'd take it to where they're sleeping and where they're
they're
hanging
gonna be.
out. So that was a nice event for us to be a part of. It sounds like you're taking it with your son to the next level. You
Yeah.
want to talk about it now or you want to wait?
No, we
can-
can.
Good segue?
Yeah,
Talk
no,
about
it's
it now.
it's, it's good.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
segue.
Definitely, it's one of those things that was, created within himself. We didn't really, push it upon him to say, hey, we're going to do that. But it is our natural part of our life. We serve. We want to really be a part of the fabric of Charlotte and the communities. So he's been around us when we've been out doing those different service projects given to the homeless and feeding, and and he hears us talk about it, but also he just had a natural wanting to be a part of that community. So one day we were just riding the car and he's just like, hey, I want to create these homes, and he's very he has a ton of ideas and he loves to come up with different ideas, but he was like, I see the homeless out there, and he was asking questions, where do they sleep, and how do they get there, and all those curious questions that 6-7-year-olds ask.
Sure.
But instead of just asking about he wanted to do something about it.
That's great.
And so he just decided, he was like, you know what, I want to come up with this business, because he loves business.
Yeah.
He wants to be a businessman, and I want to create a way that they can have clothing and they can sell it and make money and be able to sustain a living for themselves, and they don't have to sleep out in the cold. And so we were just kind of talking back and forth on different ideas, and he said, what if we sew a pillowcase, and we come with a pillow, and then we can turn that also into maybe a jacket. So he has a lot of different ideas. So we said, okay, hey, we want to help foster that for you. And my wife is very resourceful. Of course, she does that for a living, is going out and making connections or partnership, but that's just who she is.
Right.
So naturally, she got on the social media, different ones, and reached out to ones, and we did a video and said, hey, this is our son, Adrian. He has a passion for the homeless. He really wants to sew and make projects and bring people together, children, old people, and alike, and really do something. And so there was an overwhelming
I'm sure.
response from that. People just randomly just said, okay, I want to be a part of it. I want to send you a sewing machine. I'm going to send you the supplies you need. So literally in our place, we have 3 or 4 sewing machines that was donated to us.
Wow.
And the different on the items that you need to sew. I'm not really, fluent on all those things.
Sure.
But it was just an overwhelming pour of support for his cause.
That's excellent.
And he's just been so attentive and just ready to learn, eager to learn. Like I said, he loves to do things. He's hands-on, and he has just been so eager to learn and want to sew for the homeless. So he made his first pillow. A lady came over that we had connected with, and she's been sewing for forever, pretty much all of her life, and she actually teaches sewing as part of her ministry. So she came over to our home, I think it was last week or the week before, and she sat down with him, and she went over from the beginning of how to use the needles and how to stitch it and tie it, and then use a sewing machine and how that works, from A to Z.
Wow.
And they completed their first project, and he was just so ecstatic, so happy. So he's just ready. He's just ready to do whatever it takes to push this this mission, this project forward for what he wants to do for the homeless.
That's excellent.
Great.
And does he have a recipient of this pillow just yet?
No, he doesn't. Well, himself right now.
Okay, himself right now.
So he wants
He's breaking it in.
He wants to be a product
Make
of
sure
the
it's
product.
comfortable. You gotta test your product. It's all about quality control.
So he definitely, we're trying out a couple different fabrics,
Okay.
and because with fabrics, they don't all stitch and sew just on the same. So we want to really experiment and have him kind of pilot some different fabrics. Maybe it's microfiber, maybe it's cotton, maybe it's silk. You can make 100 different pillows and designs and all those things. So if there's anybody out there in the fabric world that would like to donate some fabrics, maybe you have, and so that we can use those to really help him to practice and get better, and then we'll put them out so that people can really use them.
So how can people help you? Or can they donate, or can they call or email, or is there a website? How can they help?
So we have, I have a Facebook page set up. It's not published yet. I'm just working on articles and kind of making that go. But it's called Sew, S-E-W, the letter N, and Fun. So Sew N Fun.
Okay.
And once that kind of goes active and published on social media, we'll be able to, we don't have a website yet.
Okay.
I don't know that that's a priority for us because we need to make sure that we're getting all the sewing stuff done.
Sure.
But what we want to do is get a few kids together and teach them how to sew, and then make mini projects. So we'll have a group of 4 or 5 students learning how to sew, and then they go out and deliver those products to the homeless. I don't know where this is going. It's just one of those things, like he said, fostering his passion to serve and his passion to help the homeless. We pray every night, and it's almost like when he gets down on his pillow at night, like he's so passionate about praying for the homeless, and that's nothing that we kind of instilled in him. That's really who he is. So they can find us Sew and Fun on Facebook.
Okay.
By January, it'll definitely be published, so they'll be able to find it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since this doesn't air until January 4th,
Yeah.
then it's hopefully the day this airs, they
Yes.
can find it.
Absolutely.
We'll probably share it on YouTube before then, but this will actually air January 4th on WDRBmedia.com, iHeartRadio, as well as TuneIn app. So I think it's fantastic what he's doing. I mean, to be 7 years old and be that passionate is incredible. I know there's lots of kids that have been on Shark Tank, between the Bow Tie Company. We just had Ryan's Ruffery. Ryan, who was 10 years old, he was on Shark Tank. Now he's 16 years old, now doing speeches all over the country, inspiring other teenagers to get out there and follow your dreams and follow your passion. So it sounds like even at 7 years old, he's an entrepreneur at heart and is ready to make a difference, which is fantastic. So obviously it stems to a lot of what he saw you doing, like you mentioned earlier. He's a product of his environment. So if he didn't see you giving back, he wouldn't think about the homeless. So tell us a little bit about what you have done since his birth that's really, any events that stand out in your mind that's really you think has inspired him or touched him in a way where at dinner or on the car ride home, he made a comment to you to help you realize that this really hit home for him. Any recollection of events or things you participated in that you think maybe have inspired him to be who he is today?
Oh boy, I think there's an annual event that we are a part of where we go down to across from the men's shelter of Charlotte.
Okay.
And we serve food, we give blankets, and we do praise and worship, and we're just there with them. We're not representing anyone. We're just being humans, giving back and just loving on other people that are on different situations in their life. And he was there for that. Gosh, anything else that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple times I wasn't with you, but you were in the car and you reached out to a lady that was standing on the corner and you gave her like $100. I don't know if he knew what $100 meant, but like he just
that's wow.
She just gave it. And there's been other times probably where not probably, but there's been some times we've given like a tip or we've handed out food or something that we had in the car. There's been a time where somebody was standing there and we've given them something and he's been there because he's very attentive. He's aware, like he wants to actually be involved with the interaction of adults, and so he's not that typical 7-year-old. He's just back there always playing the video games, although he does that, but he likes to engage in adult conversations and have. So I would say that
that's a hard balance, isn't it?
It's a hard balance.
It's such a hard balance,
right? Because
you don't want to discourage that spirit, and you don't want to, say, "Hey, stay in your lane." But at the same token, he has to understand that there's things that adults do and there's things that kids do.
Right.
So we work on that a lot at home.
Yeah. So a lot of it is just him having a natural. I think some kids just have a natural tendency to want to give. We're part of giving organizations, our church gives, so we're always talking about how can we give back, and I think that is just a part of who he is and his DNA. His mom is that way, and so I think is just some of the things that it is environmental, but some things you just have a natural like tendency to really want to do that, and that's where his heart is. He does that at school. He's really, really always wanting to help, and sometimes to his detriment because he's distracted from doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
But like there's for example, there's a girl in school that needs a little bit more help than others, and he'll be the first one to go up and say, hey, how can I help you? And I want to help you.
They did.
So
he signed up for a speaking club at school. So every Friday morning he'll go. It's almost like a Toastmasters for kids.
Okay.
And he was recommended to be a part of this club by one of the teachers, and so he's been going. Keynotes. That's right. Yeah. And so there was a young lady that was up there, his age, right? Because they were all about the same grade level, 2nd and 3rd grade. And she got up. It was her turn to speak, and she got stage fright. Yeah. Like the tummy was hurting, the shaking, and she could not speak. So his teacher made eye contact with him, almost like, I know you're going to go up there. And he walked up, and he held her hand, and they read it together.
That's great.
And no one encouraged him. Again, that's kind of like what Wayne's saying, that's kind of who he is.
He's a servant heart.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Plus, again, I think it comes from being a good role model. And I think we always wonder as parents, do our kids notice the things we're doing? Mm-hmm. Yes, they give us a hard time. Yes, they may not want to do chores at times. Mm-hmm. Yes, they may back talk to us at times. But ultimately, when we're not in the room and when they're at school, we know that a lot of times our kids do a lot of wonderful things. I know I remember in kindergarten or 1st grade, we were at the end of the year celebration, and they played this video that put all of us in tears because it showed how our son Bailey was helping a child with special needs all year long. Yeah. He didn't tell us he had special needs. He just kept talking about his friend all the time. And unfortunately, he moved a year or two later. But he literally would carry his lunch tray every day. He'd help him with his book bag every day. And it's just little things that our kids do that we may not even be aware of that are just so genuine and so heartfelt. And it doesn't matter white, black, purple, green, special needs, not special needs. I mean, you hear about bullying in schools, but you don't hear about the things that people do that are over and beyond what you expect them to do, which there needs to be more